Okay, our title today is Solve Two-Step Equations. And I'll just abbreviate that. Two-step equations. All right, now it says solve two-step equations. Two steps. Our first step, right? The first thing you need to do is to eliminate, get rid of. Let me spell this for you correctly. It's E-L-I-M-I-N-A-T-E. Eliminate. That means to get rid of. First thing you need to do is to eliminate the constant. And I'm going to put a different color in there. Eliminate the constant. Now you've already been doing this. I'm just using different words. Eliminate constant. That's your first step. How do you do that? We use inverse operations. Inverse operations. That's how you get rid of it. So if it's adding, you're going to subtract. If it's subtract, you add. All right, now this is going to be a little bit shorter. The first step is to eliminate the constant. The second step is eliminate, but I'm going to use ditto marks. Instead of writing it over again, it's the same word. We're going to eliminate the coefficient. C-O-E-F-F. Coefficient. Hopefully I spelled that correctly. I always get mixed up on that one. So we're going to eliminate the coefficient. How are we going to do that? How are we going to eliminate the coefficient? Same thing as above. We're going to use inverse operations, or use inverse operation. So I'm just using ditto marks because it's the same word as above. And many times you'll see this when people are like putting a date, and then someone else comes in and puts the same date, they'll just use ditto marks. It means the same thing as above. All right, so backing up a little bit, the first step, eliminate the constant. The second step, eliminate the coefficient. And how we do that? Using inverse operations. I'm going to put a little squiggly line to separate this. So those are the steps that we do. All right, I put a lot of stuff on here, but we're basically making like 3 columns in a sense. We have 3 equations. Mine are off a little bit. Constant, coefficient, and then two-step. Constant, coefficient, and then two-step. I'll enlarge that. And of course you can freeze this and copying it if you're not doing this in class with us. Okay, so let me direct your attention to this one, constant, and then we'll come back to these. So let's solve this one with just a constant. Okay, and then I'll slide over to the others. So we're just going to solve this. So we're going to use the opposite operations. And so this is -5. And remember, you have 2 sides. Right? You have left side and right side. And if you haven't done so already, this would be a good time to have a couple of colors with you if you haven't done so. Let me get my colors together. So a couple of colors you'll need. Let's see, I want to get rid of the constant, right? -5. I do the same number, but different operation. Adding. But I need to do it to the other side also. All right, when I do that, what happens is this becomes 0, and you are left with just the letter x, right? Because this is 0. Equals, and over here I have -5 and 4. I'm sorry, I have -4 and 5. That's 5 minus 4 is 1. The answer is 1. So this is how we solve getting rid of constants. All right, now let's go to the coefficient. A problem with coefficient. Notice there's a coefficient, a number next to x, and that's times. Well, you need to do the opposite operation. So let's see, what is the opposite operation? Well, this is times, so you would divide the same number, just a different operation. But you have to do it to the other side also. Okay, and in doing so, this, right, that cancels out. That makes 1, just 1x. So you have x on this side. On the other side, 3 goes into 18 6 times. Oh, but there's one negative. So the answer is negative. Okay, so this one we got rid of the coefficient. We had to get rid of that to get the letter by itself. Okay, now this is a two-step problem, the next one. So it's kind of like the combination of these. If I took this constant and this coefficient and I put them in an equation, it would look something like this. And you know what? I put the wrong number right here. It's not 12. Dang, I hate when that happens. Okay, I'm just going to do this live. It's not 12. It won't work out right. It's the number 7. This will make it work out correctly. Sorry for that error. But do you notice how we have a constant and we have a coefficient? So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to get rid of the constant, then get rid of the coefficient. So you still have your left and right side. So let's see, I'll first get rid of the constant. That's the first step. So instead of -5, subtracting 5, I will add 5 to both sides. And by doing that, this is 0, right? And what do you have left? You just have -3x. On the other side, we have 7 and 5. 7 and 5 makes 12. Okay, now we still have a coefficient. We need to get rid of it, eliminate it. Well, that's times. So you use the same number, but you have to divide. But we need to do it to the other side. Excuse me. So if we do that, this becomes just 1 and 1x. Well, 1x is just x. Equals 3 goes into 12 4 times, and there's one negative. So the answer is negative. And there we go. You see that? That is a two-step equation, and that's how you solve it. It's just like one step, except we do it twice. And that's why it's called two-step equation. Got it? This was the first step. This is the second step. I'm just working you towards a two-step equation. First the constant, then the coefficient. Constant, then the coefficient. and you'll get your answer. Now, in case you're wondering, I'm going to do this 2 more times. I'll do this whole thing 2 more times. Okay, so it's going to look like this. Let's just go to the first one here. I'll zoom in on there, then we'll just kind of move over to the side. So here's our first one. Now we're getting rid of the constant. So there's a left and right side. I want to get rid of +8. Same number, different operation, opposite operation. And I need to do it to both sides. And if I do that, see, this becomes 0. And you're left just with the letter X. And now we have 6 minus 8. Well, there's more negative, right? So there's more negative. Matter of fact, there's 2 more negative than there are positives. So it's -2. And if you put -2 in there, -2 plus 8 is 6. It's just 8 minus 2. So it works. Okay, that's for the constant. Now let's slide over and let's do the coefficient one. Again, you have a left and right side. All right. By the way, that's times. So same number, opposite operation. The opposite is divide, but I'm going to use the same number. Now I have to do it to both sides, though. That's gone. That's just 1x. So that's just x. On the other side, 4 goes into 28. And there's 1 negative. There's 1 negative, so it's negative. Okay, now let's combine those 2 problems together. We're just going to make our own problem. So you have a 4x, and then you have like a +8, right? So now if I put that together, this is what a 2-step problem looks like. So what do I get rid of first? Do I get rid of the constant or the coefficient? You get rid of the constant, right? So there's 2 sides. So to get rid of the constant, hey, where's my pen go? There we go. So I want to get rid of this 8. Okay, I'm going to get rid of it, and that's +8, so I will subtract 8. I need to do it to the other side. And notice that this will make, right, these 2 together make 0. And what are you left with? Just 4x on this side. On the other side, 4 negatives and 8 negatives. 4 negatives and 8 negatives. So on your tongue, the taste for that, or the temperature, would be -12. Right? 2 negatives only cancel when you're multiplying or dividing. Okay, now I have to get rid of the 4. So let's see. This is times, so I need to do the opposite. I need to divide. Same number though. Excuse me. Okay, so let's see. This becomes 1x. Excuse me, again. On this side, 4 goes into 12 3 times, and there's 1 negative. So that's negative. And if you put -3 in here, that would be -12. -12 plus 8 is -4. It works. All right, so see how we got rid of the constant? On this one, we got rid of the coefficient. On a two-step, constant, then coefficient you need to get rid of. Eliminate. Okay, so this will be our last three that we do. And I'll slide over, but just so you know, we're keeping them in line. So slide it over. Here's the first one. All right, so we have a left and right side. Right, this is your left, this is your right. You want to get the x by itself, opposite operation. So this is minus, so I'm going to add the same number. But I need to do it on both sides. So on this, -9 to 9 is 0. That's why we added 9, to get rid of it, to eliminate it. And now you just have x. Bring down the equals. 9 and 4 on this side. 9 and 4 just makes 13. That's it. And that makes sense because 13 minus 9 is 4. That would be correct. All right, so we got rid of the constant. Okay, so let's see. This is dividing by -2. Well, I'm going to use the same number, -2, but I'm going to multiply. Right? I'm going to multiply by -2. Because notice how this is really on top. See that? It's on top. And so that's why it reduces it. You can think of it as canceling, but it's not canceling. It's becoming a 1. -2 divided by -2 is 1, and that leaves you with the variable x. Bring down the equals. 5 times 2 is 10, but there's one negative, so it's -10. All right, so we got rid of the coefficient. All right, last one. Now we're going to take these two, put them together, and there's our two-step. Now normally two-steps you're not putting together two problems. It's just, I just want to show you what it's like. Okay, so what do we get rid of first? The -2 or the -9? Yes, you want to get rid of the constant. The constant is -9, so I will add 9 to both sides. When I do that, this becomes 0, right? These cancel each other, 0, and you're just left with this. So I'll just bring it down. Right? That's what you're left with. On the right side, you have 9 and -2. That's 9 minus 2. That's 7. Okay, now what do we have? This is dividing by -2, so I need the opposite of divide. I will multiply. Same number though, -2. And see how this is like it's on top? It reduces to 1, and you just have x, 1x. And on the right side, 7 times 2 is 14, and there's one negative. Okay, so hopefully it's clear now how to solve a two-step problem. So I just kind of broke it down a lot with you, but this is how you solve a two-step problem. Get rid of the constant, then get rid of the coefficient.